Okay. Okay. We got some awesome people coming in. Come on in. We're getting set to dive into some goodies today. Wow, we got Paul, we got John in here, we got Tracy coming in. I love it. Come on in. Get settled, get some water. It is going to be swift today. This time I do pro. It's going to be quite swift. But lots of notes, lots of things to take. So get ready. Awesome. I will be sharing the screen. We will be streaming today, but you will not be seeing it. It'll be me sharing the screen. So please feel free to hang out and interact. But if for some reason you don't want to, you also don't have to. But I love seeing your face and getting that feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and share that screen. Now you see I see the slides there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, look at that. All right. So Christina, I'm going to make sure that you are set up to handle everything as well. So you got that, letting people in,
On the
all that
chat
fun stuff.
too. I'm a co-host and I'm the chat. I got it.
Got it. Got it. Awesome. Okay, cool. Well, hello, everyone. As we say, welcome. Welcome again for those of you seeing me a second time or many times this week. I'm super excited to be here today. It's a bit foundational, but it's foundational in a way that's actually brings a lot of momentum. So we may feel like we're going back in some states and go like, oh, I think I know this, but we're going to dive into a way that's really, really powerful. So in fact, let's talk about what we're actually doing. I'm just going to explain how this is going to happen. I'm going to explain the client creation code. Like we're going to get right into it, right out the bat. All right. Then I'm going to review each foundation, right? Each pillar that your business needs in order to create profit, a system of profit, sustainable profit. Okay. Within each foundation, like I said, there's 8. Within each foundation, I am going to give you an action step to take so you have something tangible to go and create this on your own. This isn't a standby listen only, everyone. So if anyone was like, oh, I'm gonna just chat, listen to Tanya. This is some work to do, and you want to take notes, you want to really tune in. And I'm all for back and forth today. Like that's what we're gonna do. Because the truth is, like, I'm not holding anything back. Like I'm stopping the slides or the right, get in your face, okay? I'm not holding anything back, nor do I have any magic to hide, nor does anybody else, because all the core things that you need in business are right there. They're actually right there. It's not no one's secret tricks or hidden hack. It's embedded into who we are as humans and how we develop relationships and interact. It's nothing hidden within an MBA or anything else. The problem with us trying to figure out how to get this business going and to get those clients, it's not lack of information. And in fact, the problem is we're drowning in information. It's those siren calls, right, of the fantasy marketers selling their hacks and tactics, promising to be the thing that solves your business woes. And we're left digging through a pile in entrepreneur.com articles that are all saying the same thing 8 different ways, and none of it feels good to do. That is not what we're doing today. That is the difference. That is the stark contrast to where we're showing up today, because I am going to lay out exactly what we teach in our courses, like Ready for Profit course. This is the stuff that we're going through. I'm sharing that with you today. And we're going to visit each area of focus for those business foundations, get some insight, take some action points, and ideally walk away today with something tangible for your business, something you can really use. And to do that, I want to make sure that the examples that I give are relevant to you. So let's go ahead and jump in the chat. Tell me a bit about yourself, right? And just and we can relax too. But just let me know what your business is. Most of you do know what your business is. I know those of you who are streaming, watching on stream, put in the chat what your business is. I may not see it now, but that'll help me to continue to give examples that are relevant to what you are doing. All right, so let me go ahead and I'll check the chat. I know it's a lot of you are doing. Yeah, share some questions. Good, good. I know we got coaches, we got sponsorships, we got people, right? Global TV networks, lots of different things in here. So let me go ahead and share back the screen. We'll get back to what we're doing. All right. So cool. So I know what you guys are doing. I'm going to make sure those examples are relevant to you. And of course, for anyone who's watching me for the first time, if you are wondering, oh, it's going to be one of those sessions, she's going to give me a bunch of surface level fluff and then go into the big pitch at the end. That's my next slide here. You can relax. You see my little relax slide here. Stop, hold your breath, release it. It's not happening. We do have a wonderful business, and I hope that if you're here listening to me, that you know about that. We do run Modern Business Mastery, something we co-founded with data marketing maven Christina Hellman, who's also here today, and we help the rebel entrepreneurs create a profitable, systematized small business to enjoy a big life now. So we do have our community. So again, for those of you, I know some of you in here are very familiar with it. For those of you who don't, we have our free community where we give actual free support, no catch, to entrepreneurs. And we do that with workshops like this, coaching sessions, copywriting clinics, wellness sessions, monthly growth elements, book club, all of that. Yes, no cost. I actually had somebody respond to one of our emails, goes, really? Like really free? I was like, it's really, really free. There's no catch. So that's our servant leadership that we're stepping into. So we have that. And then we also have our Mastery 360, which is our year-round mastermind community. That's where we work with our members to co-create their business strategy. We help them create their strategy, their marketing, their content plans, as well as providing services that support them like copywriting, tech awareness, work sprints, scheduling labs, all kinds of those things which are included into what they do. And then of course we have courses and workshops, right? That's what we do. Next month, in fact, is lead magnet building workshop. So if you've been sitting on your idea of like, I need to make one, haven't done it, like that's the time. I think it's going to be like $49. So, spread the word, it's worth it, get it done, stop thinking about it. But that's what we're doing. We also have Ready for Profit launching at the beginning of May. That'll be one of our lowest offers ever. So check that out. And if it's aligned for where you are right now, it might be right where you need. But that's it. There's no big surprise reveal at the end. That's it. We're just here to serve you for the rest of the time so you can create something incredible in the world. So if you do want to stay in touch, you got all these ways to do so. And again, if you're streaming, you probably already connected with us, and those of you here, you know how to find us, so we can get through that. And that is me. I'm not going to go through a ton of stuff, but I wanted to have my fun Shaolin picture there, but it's not there. But I was checking the other day. I don't know if have you guys seen my Shaolin picture with my leg in the air? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a fun story. A lot of people ask, can you still do that? And I was like, you know what? It's been a while. So I did try. So I did try the other day, and I can do it. It's not as straight and high up, but it's still there. So I have some stretching to go, but it was a good win. I should have added that to my wins list. But anyway, some fun things about me. I think we might. Oh, look, it doesn't even say anything about me. There's some stuff about Christina. She's awesome. She's amazing. I don't have any text and comments there. So Christina, if you want to share something about yourself.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. Tanya and I do Modern Business Mastery together. I'm also the founder of Reduce Marketing, where I help clients basically create a strategy in their business and get to where they want to be. So I've worked with all kinds of companies, farms, coaches, a D1 university, everything in between. And I'm just super passionate about helping people. I really want people to be authentic in their business and for it to feel aligned with them. And that's why Tanya and I work so well together, because we're after the same thing. So there we are.
There we are. And that's what we're here today, is that too often we get lost in the sea of tactics and hacks and shortcuts. And more times than not, it's actually the lack of attention to the foundation that's holding us back. And so that's why we're coming back to that. A lot of times it's actually what my work is as a strategist. It's usually taking away all the other stuff and going, right, see this first part that you kind of glossed over, we're like, that's not important, let's do all this other stuff. That's what we need to get to. That's what we need to actually bring back and come back to. So that's it. That's what we're gonna do. So let's get into it. You met Christina. So let's look at the client creation code. What actually is it? So I want you to think of the client creation code not as a secret formula, the secret code to be discovered, but actually as a code of conduct. It's a set of principles that, when followed, naturally cultivates a thriving business built on genuine relationships and respect. Each of the 8 elements, the foundations we're focusing on today, represent a critical pillar in the building and sustaining of those relationships. Okay? So I'm going to walk you through how they create the client creation code. So very quickly here, kind of a quick thing, is the first thing we got to go through is genuine idea evaluation. At the core of the client creation code is authenticity. Validating your idea is about ensuring that your business is genuinely serving a need, that it's creating a foundation of trust right from the start. All right. So a lot of people will say, does it make money? That's how we validate an idea. We have a whole other set of rules that we look at as well. Next thing we're going to do is look at deeply understanding your audience. This is about respect. By deeply understanding who you're serving, you are respecting their needs, desires. You're creating offers that truly resonate and build lasting connections. Then we're going to talk about clarifying your offer, because clarity is also a form of respect. It ensures that your audience understands exactly how you can help them, removing that confusion and building trust. And then we're going to go through building a brand that resonates, because your brand is how you consistently communicate your values and what you stand for. I want you to hear that again. Your brand is how you consistently communicate your values and what you stand for. Not colors, right? It's really just, it's like the last thing, okay? Because it's about building a relationship where clients know and respect your mission, just as you respect their needs and values. Then we're going to talk about simplifying your sales path, right? We all need that. So a simplified sales path shows shows value really to your clients over time, because it makes the decision process easier. It makes it easier for you. And it's about guiding them with clarity and respect through their purchasing journey. Then we're going to go to talking to hearts, not just heads. This is about connecting on that human level, recognizing that emotional engagement often speaks louder than facts. Whoa, it's a weird one. I know. Because a lot of times you're like, but it's right there. We said it earlier, right, Christina? It's a no-brainer. It doesn't feel like that sometimes. So sometimes the emotional engagement speaks louder than facts. So how are we making sure that we're talking to hearts and not just heads? It's a key part of that relationship building. And then we're going to go through engagement, because engagement grows out of mutual respect and interest. It's about creating value and growing the relationship into the next level of service. I have to be honest, as I was putting these together, and Christina, as I'm reading, going through them again, I'm like, this is like, it's all the same things that you're hearing in business, but it's this angle that's going, it's not just this nonsense, not just numbers. This is really about a relationship thing. When we can simplify it to how humans connect, this really unveils itself as much simpler than we think. And then just like a relationship, which has no shortcuts, has no magic wands, we just keep showing up and trying. And we go, yeah, this is okay. I'm all right with this. Right. And other ones we go, I don't like this. And we move out of that relationship. Right. That's what we had in business. So anyhow, I'm getting off track. Long-term launching is our last one. And this is where we talk about not overthinking movement. We understand that it's a long game. We stay clear, committed, and more importantly, moving with intention. It's not about a perfect launch. It's just launching. All right. And so I wanted to just get it right out. This is my new thing. I was like, look, if you're like, I don't know if it's worth it to stay today, that's it. That's the 8 things. Boom. You can leave with that and figure out what to do with it. What we're going to do now is actually give you tangible stuff to do within that and make it make sense. All right. So that's when I said today's swift. Today's about movement. That's what we're going into. So I hope you're all ready for round 2 of me, because I'm in it. I'm going. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Oh, we got validation idea. So we're good. We're good. Okay. So when we talk about the client creation code, we're really talking about how those 8 elements interweave, like I said, to form a business ecosystem, right? Something that's grounded in honesty, integrity, and respect. It's about moving beyond transactions to create meaningful, lasting relationships with your clients. This code isn't just about finding clients. It's about creating them through consistent, respectful, value-driven interactions at every stage of their journey with your brand. Who wants to run that type of business? Right? Yeah. And I'll say, I gave a talk similar to this in certain areas about this kind of human respect and connectedness. And I was here locally, actually, at an English situation. And somebody's like, well, that's just for B2C, right? That's just business to consumer. Like you can't do that business to business talking. I was like, are you talking to the business or are you talking to the human that represents the business? No, it's a person. Well, then guess how the answer still works for that. Okay. That's what we're doing. We're not just applying tactics, you're adopting a philosophy. It's a philosophy that recognizes the immense value of each individual that you serve. This is the essence of the client creation code. It's the understanding that when you build your business on this foundation of respect and relationship, that success naturally follows. So we're doing good. We're good in the chat. Everyone all right? My little preachy moment there. Okay, good. So let's move on to looking at what we can do to make some tangible process in that. All right. So let's move in. We got the idea of value, validation, right? Which I added on here what I called product intimacy, which may sound a little strange at first, but just roll with me here. So the product validation, and what I'm referring to as product intimacy, is the first pillar. It's the first thing we need to get clear, not get right. Please hear that. Get clear, not get right. Okay, that idea of like, it's got to nail it. I got to do it. No, just get clear. If you really understand what it is, if you really understand who it's for, the rest is going to follow okay. Because once it's unclear, that's when it's not making money. Right? So don't get stuck here getting it right. Get clear and get started. Right will come after. So product validation is not simply saying, could this work? Okay, this is a big thing. Could this work? Could this solve a problem? We think that's what it is. Now that's important. Yes, it's an important part. Don't get me wrong. But the first part we need to do is to make the sale to ourselves. And that's where the product intimacy comes in. Because when we work with people in our program, we really dive into the ideas, the thoughts, and the pain behind this product, right? Once I had shared and actually this is a really good illustration if I say so myself, but once I had shared a really, what I find to be beautifully designed Trello board, right, with a client. And the client said, it's so well thought out and organized. And I was like, it sure is. And it was followed immediately by the sentence, I can see how many issues you must have dealt with to realize you needed all those parts. And that is huge. Because I knew that product so well, and there's so much I went through it. I was like, okay, it needs this now. It's got to get that now. Well, now I know this is really helping them do this. The intimacy and understanding commitment that I had to that product, that I understood who it was helping, how it was helping, that sold it to me. So when I have that conversation with people, I'm not selling, I'm sharing, I'm enthusiastic. I can't help but talk about it because I know how much it can help. I know, and you know what we do? We do this, and then we can do that. We can help you with this. And Christina can attest in some of the meetings we've had this week, how many times I've cut in and I'm like, we can help you with that. I'm like, don't you worry, we got you out. Like it's like it naturally comes out because of how well I understand I'm connected with my product. Okay. So that's one part of it. So let's go over real quick this pillar and what steps we need to take right now. Because I do, like I said, I want to try to keep it swift here. So what is it? It's verifying your business idea fills a real need in the market. Okay. There are lots of ideas. Is this a need that somebody actually is like having this problem and going, I can't figure this out, right? This is something we need to clarify. And there's different ways to do that. Why do we need to do this? Well, we need to ensure that your business has a solid foundation that addresses a true demand, right? Increasing its likelihood of success. What happens if we don't? You risk investing the time, the energy, the resources into a concept that might not have a viable market, leading to potential failure. So when we look at something like this, the example I love to give is, let's say you have a product that helps people who have financial problems. And you go, I have this great, and does it fill a need? Absolutely. Can people pay for it? Who's your market? People with financial problems. Sounds like a bit of a conundrum there, right? So we got to really figure out how we're doing this. So what do we need to figure this out? We got to do some research. We got to do feedback from potential customers. So we got to have some market analysis to confirm that demand for the area. This does not have to be a big, complicated thing, but I'm telling you, if you ever skipped this part, whether it's the validation or maybe it's the intimacy understanding of your product, this is the time to come back. That's your sign to come back. So what's the first step to have some movement here? Conduct a survey or some interviews, right? With people in your audience. Just chat with people. I always think they make it sound so official. Conduct a survey. Like, hey, let me ask you a couple questions. I'm thinking about doing this. Is this something that you've experienced people needing, or you've heard people? Is this something that if you heard about this, you'd be interested in? Make a post. call it out like it is. Everyone is showing up so shiny online. I'm telling you, the more simple you come through, like you cut through the noise. Everybody's wearing fancy, fancy suits. Like, look at me, I'm on LinkedIn. But if you just go, hey, like, here's the thing, you cut through a lot of that by just being honest, saying, hey, I'm just trying to find out if my product works. You guys mind giving me some feedback? Sure. So that's the step. So if you're again, this is one place to start doing some stories. There's definitely some other steps involved, and those are things we go into and support you with as we work together. So the other bonus here is ask yourself, who are these people, right? Who need this? Like, who are the people who would need this product? Do you like working with them? This is important, okay? Because just because they need your product, it doesn't actually mean you enjoy working with them. Next, can you help them? Just because they need your product doesn't mean you're the best choice to work for them. And lastly, can they pay? You are looking, ideally, the winner has a check mark in all three, right? Not the first one, because that says, who are they? But do you like working with them? Can you help them? Can they pay? Obviously, 3 for 3, you're good. If you got a 2 for 2, let's see where we're at, see what that means, right? That's what we're trying to figure out. So there is that. And I think, so we're good so far? Everyone feeling okay with idea validation, product intimacy? Good, getting some head nods. Okay, awesome. I'm going to throw a challenge in here. I don't have it on the slides, but if you're feeling saucy, identify a top problem that you believe your business can solve and discuss it with 5 potential customers this week. Okay, identify a top problem you believe your business can solve and discuss it with 5. And that's a lot. What is it? It's Thursday. Okay, so in a week, maybe 5 to 10. It's just a wild challenge if you're up for it. Now, remember, I didn't say pitch it, just discuss it. Like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I noticed a lot of people have been having issues with that. We've been thinking about creating a program to address that and look at that. Just see what happens. See what happens when you start talking about it. That's your challenge if you're feeling saucy. All right. But remember, a validated idea is your first green light to that road to success. All right, let's keep pushing through. So pillar 2, if you're keeping track, pillar 2, deep understanding of your audience, right? This is your branding and positioning, okay? All that fancy talk, branding, position, deeply understanding your audience is ultimately what it is. Because the deeper you understand the audience, the more you know where to show up. That's magic position, okay? There's your positioning. Knowing your audience goes beyond demographics, right? It's about tapping into those hopes and fears and dreams. That's the cornerstone of effective branding, because branding isn't just about logos or taglines. It's about resonating with people on that deeper level, right? Connecting over shared beliefs, philosophies, even a collective battle cry. Because when you truly understand what drives your audience, you're not just selling a product or a service. You're offering a piece of a larger vision of what they want to be part of, right? This is where branding and audience understanding merge seamlessly, because the brand becomes a mirror reflecting not only your audience's desires, but also their values and aspirations. Right? Someone in a situation where we're selling space and sponsorships, right? Like Tracy, who's here in the group today, we're looking at that. There's the reflection of the person who said, I'm the kind of person who sponsors this kind of thing, right? That's an audience. Even though she has another audience, people are actually watching her TV shows and things like that, right? There's 2 different places that she's connecting to and telling them deeply understand what they need that goes just beyond when, we gotta get some more audience or whatnot. There's something else that's going on there. When you can take the time to tap into that, you're making something creative happen. So that's what we have here. What is it? It's knowing who your customers are beyond demographics, fears, needs, aspirations. Why do we need that? Because it creates the basis for meaningful connections, tailored solutions, and making your marketing efforts more effective. What happens if we don't have it? Your message misses the mark, period. You fail to engage those customers, or worse, you alienate them. So what do we need to do to have this figured out? We need some more research. We just need to take time. Like, again, research is not about, I'm going to say this. How many of us sat there and go, I just need to think about it when I think about it. And then when you actually take the 5 minutes, it's right there. You're like, it literally was right there. It's just about taking the time to sit down and really look at it, make that list. Well, it says research here, but I'm going to say it's just a list. Make the list. Stop keeping it in your head. Make it real. right? So take that deep look at you and your desires, your unique talents and approaches, because these are both of these things are going to be what helps us understand where we want to stand. So too often we overlook our part in it of who we are and who we want to be. We start to focus on just what works. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we're in there and we're aligned. So our first step to doing something is to write out a detailed customer persona of a real person. This is the caveat. Most of you have heard like, oh, make your persona your avatar. I want you to pick a real person. Now, either for those of you who already have clients, take a past or existing client, one that you like. You obviously usually your favorite, okay? Everyone else doesn't have favorite, but your favorite, all right? So grab that one, okay? Then or if you don't have that, then I want you to grab someone you know that you know rather well-ish, okay, that you could answer some questions about. Sometimes it's a friend. Like I know I have friends that are like, we're never going to work together. I'm their friend. There's just not going to happen. And if they are, they're going to be a pain in the butt. I love them, but they'll be a pain in the butt, right? So I'm not doing it. So it might be somewhere you're like, gosh, she's my exact client, but we're not going to work together. You might use that person, right? Doesn't matter what it is, but it needs to be a real person that you believe would be or has been a perfect client for you. And you're going to describe this real person. You're going to go beyond basic demographics to include emotional drivers and lifestyle factors. You're going to ask questions like, what is Christina's mindset right now? Now, I actually know Christina, so I can answer that question. This is the difference, okay? How do they see themselves? How does the world see them? What do they hope for each day? What are they missing? What are they pushing for? Now, again, all of these questions become way easier to answer and to make tangible when we're looking at a real person, right? When we're looking at Sally from, whatever, is 20, this person we've made up, like we can fill in anything. But when we start to get real here, this puts some skin on it, literally, right? To start to go, oh, this is what they're dealing with. This is the thing. I'll tell you one time, this is a little hack. I'm going to throw in a hack. I was writing a sales page one time, and there was it's a gal I still know. She's a colleague, and one day she might come around, but she's like our perfect client. She would be the perfect client. She's like all the things that we need. She's smart, ambitious, still trying to learn stuff. But she's doing her thing. So I wrote it to her, and I wrote my sales page, and I wrote, dear so-and-so, I know you've been struggling with this. And last time we talked, you said, and I just wrote a letter. And then when I took all the pieces out of that were specific to her, I had an incredible sales page. So I'm just telling you, that's a hack. If you haven't tried it yet, that one's a powerful one because it's amazing. It's good stuff, good stuff. So if I say so myself. So there's the bonus step, all those questions. If you want those slides, we can make sure those will be there in the replay in the community. So you can look at those questions to help you develop it. How about insights so far? Let's take a moment right now, right? We're just 28 minutes in. We've gone over validating and we've gone over audience, right? Audience, yeah, okay, good. So give me a takeaway. I won't call on you out loud. Just drop it in the chat and I'll let you keep going if we do that. So let's get some chat. Give me like just at this point already, biggest takeaway or favorite part or most confusing part, any of it. All right, any of it. We'll keep going. So keep an eye out for that, Christina, and then I'll jump back in. So, okay, like I said, we're gonna move us all along. Boop, boop, audience understanding. Okay, so that was the second pillar, right? So now we're gonna come in to the next two. We're gonna come into the next two. I'm gonna check on that chat. Boop, boop, boop. Don't get too comfy. Get in that chat. I'm gonna be looking in there. All right. We want to see, is there something in audience building or in verifying that hit something, right? Clarifying your client to clarify your offer. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a big one. Big one. So then we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about clarifying your offer. So clarifying your offer. What I think is fun about this one is that this is really actually about your audience and your message. Because when you're clarifying your offer, you're creating that messaging that relates, right? Let's go into that. We'll go into that. So this is clarifying your offer, but it's really about understanding how you share your voice in a way that activates your audience, that connects and resonates. It's necessary for an authentic business to have this skill, this clarity. And instead of finding the right price, you have a clear message to evolve the niche. What do I mean by that? So instead of creating the niche, You learn to say the things that filter for who you want. You learn how to connect and that relevancy, that intimacy and transparency. And with this, you make it really darn clear what you do, clarifying the offer. Right. So by doing that, instead of like, is it $9.97? So I get this a lot, right? Should I charge 50 or should I charge this much? What's the right price? How about instead of worrying that, instead of trying to find the right person that's going to pay this, we start actually connecting and have the relevancy, the intimacy, the transparency that make it clear what we do. And when we clarify that offer, it's not about the pricing or what bells and whistles come with it. That's not it at all. It's about the audience. It's that your audience is consistently and respectfully knowing what you do and how you help them and how to get it. Right? That's what clarifying the offer is. It's not just saying this is how much it is and this is what it is, but it's making sure that we talked about this earlier, didn't we, in the session earlier, consistently and respectfully knowing what you do and how you help them and how to get it, right? Because if they are just consuming from you going, this is great. I don't know what they do, but man, I love these emails. Like we're still lost. We need to clarify the offer. So if you're stumbling over just like how to explain it, but we're trying to think, I'm stumbling over it right now. If you're stumbling over not just how to explain it, but why it matters, they're stumbling to understand it as well, right? Like, so if we're having a hard time to get to that point, they're also going to be struggling. They're not going to get it either. So here's the point here, right? We got to define what we sell in a way that's understandable, highlights the value, it's clear how you get it. Do you have those things? Are you saying these things regularly? What do you sell in a way that's understandable, highlights its value, and it's clear how to obtain it? I should make those like bullet points. Grab those 3 there, okay? And then why do we have to do this? Well, it's because a clear offer cuts through the noise. It makes it easier for customers to see why they need your products or service. What happens if we don't have it? They remain confused. They don't know what you're offering it, why it matters. You don't get sales. What do we need to have this figured out? A succinct description that communicates the benefits, not features, benefits of your offer and its unique value proposition, right? What's the first step? I want you to list the top 3 benefits of your product or service and how it uniquely solves your customers' problems. Just try this exercise, right? And again, we're not doing them in session today because we got a lot to cover, but take this home, wherever that is for you, right? 3 benefits of your product service and how it uniquely solves your customers' problems. That's why I want to have you try it out. What do we got here in the chat here? Okay, cool. The third one. What did you need, Tracy? The third one on was it back here?
No, you were talking and you said there are three things, and you said make it understandable, highlight the value, and you said the third one was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what was I saying? Someone got it in there? I know I have it somewhere. Highlight the value. And I said I want it to be these 3 points. Oh, yeah. So it's easily understandable, highlights the value, and it's clear how to obtain it.
Okay.
And that's a really important part. Is too often we actually do make it complicated. Go, okay, well, what do I do next? Like, how do I get it? What do I do? And we think that we make them do that work. Like we got to stop that. Stop making them do the work. So we got your first step here, and a bonus step is if you want to create a customer persona, not as a hypothetical marketing exercise, but as an intimate portrait of your most engaged customer. So you ask yourself, what do they care deeply about? What vision of the future are they yearning for? And how does your brand help paint that future? It's kind of similar to what we did before, but just a little different angle. This is what we're talking about, is these are the things that get overlooked because everyone's worried about how to post and when to post. And so it feels counterintuitive to go back to the drawing board, like, why am I customer persona, hypothetical? It's very powerful because the clarity that you get in that, going to supercharge your messaging, right? And that's what it's about, because everyone's out there doing the same tax and tactics. I always do that. Hacks and tactics. And this is how you cut through the noise. So the next thing that we need to do here is to simplify our sales path. And this is the sales funnel, right? This is a stranger to customer. That's what everyone's talking about. And well, a lot of times what we've missed in the foundation is come back and really simplify this process, because this again is about clarity, right? It's about understanding the purpose of every part of your business that a prospect interacts with. And if we care about them, then the interaction should be intentional, right? Based on where they are and what you know about them, what would they need? Right? This is what you know, like you know where they are and you know about them. So what would they need? What should they have? If they were a guest in your home, what would you offer and give? What information would you share with them if they were lost or needed help and they were walking through your town? What is that process or system? Because if you leave it all to chance, then that's how your income will work too, right? There are simple ways to create clients through systems that still honor them, right? Honor them, their individual businesses, and allow you to create impact with more scale and ease, which brings you back to why you're doing all this in the first place, right? Joy, freedom, what you like to deliver. So by simplifying this and having this clarity, you can start to go like, okay, well, what's the first thing they need? If someone is struggling, and this is the thing, I'm not saying like, okay, sales call, then this. I'm talking about if they were in your home, what's the first thing you offer? They're coming in going, I'm lost. Well, it looks like, you know what? Why don't we start with getting you the 5-word checklist, okay? That's going to get you organized and clear, right? That's the glass of water. And then let's get your feet up, right? That's going to give you some content templates and that's going to make it easy for you, right? So think of it, that process of how do you move them in to create that relationship, to serve them, to bring them into what they need. What would you do first? So I don't want to talk about it today, so let's go here. This is how we do it. So what is the simplified sales path? It's that structured process that guides potential customers from the first time they meet you to the final purchase, making sure that they have a clear understanding of how your product or service fits into their life or solves a problem. Many of us are doing this, but we've never sat down and written it down. We've never sat down and looked at it. That is the callback. That's what we're coming back to. We need this because a disorganized or unclear sales process will leave you and your prospect confused. And trust me, you'll be part of it. You'll be like, oh, I wasn't ready for that one, or that was awful. And this results in frustration on both sides. Like, didn't make the sale. Like people, you finally get somebody to come all that way and you know, we're flubbing over ourselves. It's no good. A well-defined sales funnel streamlines this process, making it efficient for you and clear for them. It is worth the time to go back and write this out. It's necessary. It's really what I'm saying. And what happens when we don't have it is you're leaving the success and the impact that that success has up to chance. That's not a strategy. And quite honestly, it's just irresponsible and wishful thinking, right? Like you gotta have this laid out. It doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be clear. So what do we have to have this figured out? Identify the steps a customer needs to take from discovering you to deciding if it's right for them. You're not there to convince them to buy. You're there to help them decide if it's right for them to purchase, right? If it's right for them, a right fit for them, not to make them buy. And then you make sure each step is clear, logical, and free from any unnecessary complexity. It's really just about writing it down. So the first step is map out the simplest path that someone can take to go about learning about your product to making a purchase. Start with your lead magnet. If you don't have a lead magnet, there's a sign right there, some things, but also we need to go, well, how do they first connect with you? And there may be different ways. Well, sometimes I network with people. All right, well, let's start the I met someone networking journey, if that's something you do often. If that's everyone, your sales path is there. If there's other ways you meet people, yes, you will need to make other sales journeys. The clarity is worth it. It's not that long, you know, and if it is long, that's great. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about why it's so long. All right, let's simplify that. That's the point. First thing is write it down. Bonus step, ask yourself. So this is think about your favorite store or online shop. What makes buying from them easy or enjoyable? Borrow those elements for your own sales funnel. So that's something you could throw on, right? We got 4 more to go from what I understand, right? Yeah, we got 4 more to go. We got this. Everyone doing okay? Thumbs up? Yeah? Okay. I got some thumbs up. See some note taken. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to move us along. So talking to hearts, not just heads. This is audience building through real communication. And this is the heart of it all, really, is creating that audience. We think the heart of it is like, oh, it's got to get those sales. The audience building, when done right, it creates sales. Like, so this is why that connection and all this messaging is so important. Because connecting with them on the deeper level is really, it's absolutely non-negotiable. Building an audience isn't just about numbers. It's about establishing those genuine connections. It's about speaking to the hearts of those you aim to serve, and not just that. This approach is foundational, okay, because it transforms those passive observers into active participants, right? It champions your brand. When we fully engage with our audience, we understand their needs, their desires, their challenges they face. We're not just selling to them. We are building relationships that can withstand the test of time. This isn't about manipulation or fleeting engagements. We know that. It's about meaningful interaction. And that's the essence of building an audience with intention. So what do we mean? What is this? It's cultivating that genuine community, interested in your offerings, providing values that speak directly to their needs and interests. Now, that might sound like boilerplate stuff, but think about it. Cultivating a community genuinely interested in your offerings. Sounds like I would need to filter for certain things if they're to be interested in my offerings, right? And then I should be providing value that speaks directly to their needs and interests. Why do we need it? Your audience forms the foundation of your business's potential for growth. Like I said, we're worried about sales, we should be worried about audience. Audience is the sales, right? Without an engaged community, even the best ideas will remain hidden gems. And what happens if we do not have this? Without a focused audience, your efforts in marketing, product development, scatter, lose impact, diluting the message, value proposition. Like, it all crumbles from here, buddy. Right? That's where we're at, guys. If we don't figure it out, we're crumbling here. So what do we need? We need an understanding of who your audience is, what they care about, how you can serve them uniquely. Again, this is not arbitrary stuff that you're going to pull out and make this avatar. This is really about doing that work that we talked about, sitting down and looking at who they really are and what these words really mean. So let's talk about the first step to get started. Draft an initial email that not only delivers your lead magnet, but also sets the tone for what your new subscribers can expect from being part of your community. All right, so those of you who are in the room here, right? So I got Paul here, he has a lead magnet. Then he'll be able to practice writing that email that says, here's your thing, and here's what it's like being part of what we do, right? John has an assessment. He can do the same thing like that. Tracy, you have a different kind of situation if you don't have a lead magnet right now. So then you might play with, when I meet people and I send that email, how do I send an email that isn't just about what we discussed, but gives them an idea of what we do as a whole, right? Maybe there's something like that that's introducing them. How am I actually cultivating an audience and connecting rather than just, like I said, trying to grab those numbers and throwing, pulling stuff around? So if you're looking for a bonus step, reflect on what makes you subscribe. Why do I subscribe? Why do I stay engaged? You're a really good barometer for business. It doesn't always work this way. And I'll tell you, in some of the businesses, CPG, which is product packaged goods, it's not always the same thing. But in this space that most of us are in, we are a really great barometer. If you're like, I wouldn't want to read a 3-page email, don't write one then. Right? Like, if you're like, I want something that's 15 minutes, you know what? Test it out. You're not always gonna be right, but test it out. Test it out. You're a great temperature check. All right. So you could do that and apply one of those elements that you see someone else do to your own marketing. So if you go, you know what? I like how somebody made a carousel. Try it. I like how they have super signature and you haven't done one. Try it. Find something that they're doing and at least take note of it. Okay, this is the bonus step. If nothing else, take note of it. Because there's probably a lot of hidden info there. All right, so moving on along. I think we're moving. We're good? We're good? How are we in chat? We're good in chat? All right. Woohoo. Okay, good. Got it. Perfecting your conversion strategy. So this is the conversion and deliver part, right? We're in this pillar now. Right, we're 6 in, we're coming in, we know we're talking to, we validated our product, we're positioned, we're this, but we're all this. How am I going to make money though? I need a conversion strategy, right? Sales process slightly a little different than when we've actually convert and we start to deliver. So it's really important to understand this piece of the puzzle because it should have our full attention because it's not just about closing sales. It's about guiding potential customers to that decision. And we talked about clarity and integrity. And it's where all of our efforts in understanding, communicating, and engaging with our audience, they come together. But here's the thing. Conversion should never feel like a trap that's sprung on unsuspecting visitors. So it's always going to be about providing clear, compelling reasons to work with you, to choose you, making the path to yes smooth and natural as possible. So it's not about business, it's hospitality, right? That's what I was saying, like the house, someone's coming over your house, right? We're hosts in our digital space. And every guest should know exactly how to get what they need from us without confusion or pressure. So crafting a conversion strategy with this mindset doesn't just increase our success rates, but it builds trust and loyalty, right? It lays the groundwork for these relationships we're trying to create in this space of authenticity, right? So that's the power of conversion and strategy done right. So again, what is it? It's the method by which you transform interested prospects into paying customers. Okay, so notice it's different. Like once you're in a sales conversation and you're learning how to connect those sales different, but how you move them from interested into paying, that's what we're talking about this process, right? And we're talking about using clear, respectful communication and processes that guide their decision making. Why do we need this? Because they ensure that they go from interest to purchase seamlessly, right? That it's easy for them, that we respect their needs and we remove any unnecessary obstacles. What happens if we don't have it? They might drop out of the process, not have clear guidance, wasted effort. This was a perfect example today. My own coach sent something to use, and I clicked on it and it wasn't working. And then I'm over here and then I'm trying it. And I'm like, and then I'm checking the link and it's not working. And then it's like, it's not working, try it. So I tried again and I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to get on that platform. I'm just not going to. Like, I'm done. If they want to get in touch with me, they're going to have to try another way. But that delivery experience, like that particular I'm literally not going to make any more effort at all for that. Like they've lost me on that particular platform. Like that's how easy it was, right? And it was maybe 10 minutes, but 10 minutes of my time, I was like, okay, I'm not figuring this out. This is super annoying and wasting my time. Like that's how quick it is to get cut off. Make it easy, right? Because people are grumpy like me when they're busy. Make it easy. So that means where the links are, don't go back and forth to try to schedule something, right? Do not go, what about 3? How about 3:30? How about make it easy? So this may feel like all these other places. I'm trying to make it real tangible. It might just be how you're booking. It might be where links are, whatever that is. So there is a way for you to get, to simplify this. So our first step here is to choose a conversion tool or a process that complements your business model and your sales funnel. So you want to make sure that you're outlining how this tool is going to facilitate a smoother transition for your prospects to go from interest to purchase. All right, so what do we mean by conversion tool? So conversion tool can be a webinar like this, a workshop, right, where you sell on that. It can be your sales call. It can be a lead magnet that moves to a sales page, right? It's always going to be something like that, something that moves them, like that physical act of moving in from a prospect into a paying customer. That is what we want to figure out what tool you're going to use for that. What's your process there, I guess. Whereas the sales strategy we were talking about from stranger to sale, we're talking about, I'm already here, we're talking about this more nuanced, like microscope in space of that. So hopefully I'm not losing anyone here. But the bonus here we can do is consider the journey from the customer's perspective. What would make the decision-making process easier for you? And again, I love this, right? I'm thinking like Tracy, you're in these high sales conversations as well. If you were in that and you had a budget you were in charge of, what would make you feel better making that decision? And when we can flip that, a lot of times insights come that we weren't connecting with before, right? So implement, and then you can implement one change that simplifies that process for you guys, right? So I'm working on it. We're pushing through. I need to make me stop anytime I need to. All right, so engagement for connection and conversion. So this is the content plan. If you haven't come back to the basis of your content plan in a while, this is what we want to look at. And we're looking at the content plan that gets them to your lead magnet. We're looking at the stuff where they first discover you to even decide whether or not they ever want to date you, okay? So that's what we're looking for. It isn't just about filling your feed or keeping your website fresh, okay? But that content is about meaningful engagement. It is showing up for your audience. And we mentioned this in I don't think you guys were at the Future of Business workshop, but a lot of us have been worried about AI and oh, it's creating all this new content. But the flip side of that is we have so much surface boring content now because of AI that the reward is going to go to those who are still actually putting effort, thought, and everything into what they're doing. Because the rest is going to just start to all be cookie cutter nonsense. So really understanding that this engagement and the depth of what you do is how you turn strangers into followers, followers into fans, and fans into customers. So if you don't learn how to move from content to action, that's what we talked about today in our funnel fix. You will be stuck at discovery. You will be stuck at top of funnel forever. I'm going to say it, like, this is why we're talking about coming back to foundation, because all these little like fun tips, they're only going to take you so far if you haven't come back here. This is where the sustainability is. This is where the simplicity is in fixing that core part of it. So let's go back. What is it? It's a strategic approach to creating and sharing content that aligns with your audience's interests, leading them naturally to your lead magnet, ideally. Like, it's really what it is. There's not many other strategies than moving into your lead magnet. Okay. Why do we need this? Why does it matter? Because without it, you're just another voice in the cacophony, right? With it, you become a trusted advisor. That's why the lead magnet is powerful. We can look at it and go, it's just another gotcha, some dangly thing. You know, we've all been to trade shows and you get some little plasticky thing. Yeah, I got another keychain. Yay, right? It can be that, or it doesn't have to be, or it can actually be something really needed and effective and well thought out. And when you do that, you do become this advocate. You become a source, right? You become somebody who has insight and solutions. So effective content does more than attract. Ideally, it engages and it retains. That's why content is important. That's why just slapping things in ChatGPT will never replace like what we're individually capable of doing. So what happens when we don't have it? Without engaging content, your lead magnet might as well be invisible. Let's be honest, right? The journey stops before it even begins. So what do we need to have this figured out? Insight into your audience's preferences and pain points, and matching that with clear understanding of how your content and lead magnet addresses these. See that again. You have insight into your audience's preferences, pain points. Yes, Tanya, you've been saying that the whole hour, right? Match it with a clear understanding of how your content and lead magnet addresses these. How your content and lead magnet addresses these. A lot of times we have really great content, but it's never actually addressing this. And then we're wondering why they're not connecting to that thing. That's it right there. I could take the whole workshop and just do it around that sentence right there. Okay, like that one, hold on to it. So what do we do? Oh no, Tanya, I believe you, but what do I do? Decide on the best platform for your message. Okay, types of content that resonate with your audience, and then map out a 30-day content plan. That's your first step. Feels like a lot, but 30-day content does not mean 30 posts. Not everyone's business posts every day. Some might. Maybe you're on Twitter, it's going to be a lot more posts than that, but 30 days, because this is part of it. This is part of the hat you're wearing, right? So test it out, see what it's like, to think that far ahead. This isn't about selling, it's about giving. It's about sharing knowledge, insights, and resources that genuinely help your audience. Do not overthink this. Do not go into the marketing trap. Think from here. What do they need that can help them right now? What are they really struggling with? And a bonus step, reflect on a piece of content that recently made you stop scrolling. You know, what caught your attention? How can you incorporate similar elements or engagement or anything like that into your content strategy? All right. And then we're the last one. Everyone doing your trucking along. You're staying with me. My energy's still here. Like, whoo, I need a glass of water. I breathe for a second. Okay. So what's the last pillar? The last pillar is a bit of mindset here. That's why I'm calling the long-term launch, right? And this is the part where we are continued in a space of troubleshooting and launching. Because launching, whether it's unveiling a new product, introducing a new lead magnet, or stepping out with a business for the first time, it's fundamentally about commitment. It's about understanding that success in business is a long game. It's filled with learning, adjustments, and resilience. So your launch process should be intentional, measurable, reflected on, and learned from, not a deal breaker. I remember when I first started in business, and I was listening to all the marketing people, the fantasy marketing, all of those things. And it was like, if this launch is it, like, this is it. If we don't hit those numbers, then it's do or die. No such thing. BS, that's not true. There's no do or die. Okay. It's not a deal breaker. It's just the practice, and you'll do it again, and you'll do it many times. Each launch is an act of bravery, is what I'm gonna say. Okay, it's a declaration that you're here to serve and you're here to grow, and it's not about waiting for perfect conditions or fearing every potential sign to quit. Right? Like it's like, oh, it's gotta be just right, or oh no, I didn't do well. That means I shouldn't be doing this. No, it's just about doing it. Because real success, the kind that's built to last, comes from commitment to your vision, to your audience, and to the journey of making a difference. It's about doing the work, evaluating your outcomes. Now, I'm saying it sounds all nice, but this means, like, when are you really looking at your numbers? How often are you checking in on your performance for the month? How often are you going, how many people did I talk to and how many deals did I close? How many posts did I do? Like, actually, not obsessively, but taking insight from that information. So we want to always be moving forward with awareness and accountability, not hiding in a silo, right? We do that, entrepreneurs. We do in this lone wolf journey. It's a shared experience, and it's one that thrives on community, support, and shared wisdom. So as I wrap up here and get back on my soapbox for a bit, what is this long-term launch? It's the understanding that each launch and each effort to put your work out there is a step to a much larger journey. Right. And I want you to understand, I say launch. And if that's a term that's new for you in the business, typically it's like this big one and it's a launch, it's a thing. My flip here is that this whole thing's a long-term launch. And if you really recognize that it's a consistent work and it's consistent coming back and a viewing and a trying and a moving, and you can accept that, you can not only accept, but learn to appreciate the mud, you're going to do really well in business. But if you're scared of the mud every time you're like, I can't get dirty, it's going to be real tough. Yeah, you can make it. People do it, but it's not going to be fun. All right. It can be a lot of fun if you're willing to if you're okay with getting dirty. All right. And in the fun way, not like some shady way. All right. All right. So every attempt, every failure, right? Every success, right? Or every attempt or every failure, we say, and every success is rich with the insights that guide us closer to those goals. It's those experiences that we actually find the lessons to the path forward. And if we do not have this mindset, we view each launch as a make it or break it moment, which leads to disappointment and burnout. Because without that long game perspective, we risk losing why we started in the first place. So we need to have a commitment to looking beyond the immediate results, to learning from every outcome and applying these lessons with an eye towards that continuous improvement. So how do we get started? Our first step is, as you start to put something out there, make sure you have those clear objectives, not just outcomes. Right? I think that's a really important item. Clear objectives, not just outcomes, but for learning. What are your clear objectives for learning on this launch? We're going to learn how well this sales page works. We're going to learn if this button is better than that button, or set those objectives of what you want to make sure to learn, because it's way beyond what the outcome is. And what do you hope to understand better about your audience, your offer, and your process? And again, if you're feeling saucy, for a bonus step after your launch, schedule a debrief with your team or a trusted advisor and focus on what the data tells you, but also on the qualitative insights. Like, how did your audience react? What unexpected opportunities emerge? How can these learnings inform your next steps? So we want a grounded approach to launching in this perspective. And when we do that, we can see beyond this immediate horizon, and we can see what we have left to build on and to learn and achieve over time. And it really ensures that every time we launch, every time we put something out to effort, we contribute to that richer, more meaningful journey. Not just for our business, but for our community that we're here to serve. So here we are. I'm almost right in time, but this is what we covered today. The 8 things we're looking at are idea validation and product intimacy. We've seen the importance of being fully behind your product and ensuring it serves a real need. Understanding your audience, which is about getting to the heart of their desires, fears, and dreams. Clarifying your offer. We talked about making what your offer crystal clear to those you serve. Simplifying your sales path, right? We discussed creating an easy journey for your audience from discovery to purchase. Audience building. Focus on attracting and retaining an engaged community. Conversion and deliver. Highlighting the shift from interest to action in a sincere way. content plan, crafting valuable content that leads to your lead magnet and beyond, and the launch strategy, embracing the commitment to launch, learn, and adjust. So if you're feeling inspired and ready to implement these, that's fantastic. Dive in, flesh out that strategy. If you're looking for feedback on what you create, Christina and I are here to review what you've crafted. So make sure you go into the group and share that, or book a strategy review, and we can work with you to co-create your next steps on that call. But if you're sitting here thinking like, this is exactly what I need to do, but it's a lot, don't worry. That is what our upcoming program is for, the Ready for Profit. And we're not going to go into a huge launch or anything here, as we mentioned, but these are the things we're going to cover. And we're going to actually build these things out every single week. So you will have a deep dive into your business idea, your market fit, building your clarity and your brand identity, understanding, connecting with your audience, developing and refining your sales funnel, strategies for effective audience engagement, crafting your launch plan, and setting you up for success, and then being there with you while you launch. So that's what's going on. That's what's happening. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop our share, and we'll say official goodbye to our streaming, everyone, and then I'll go ahead and stop the recording.